Good evening, everyone. Today is June 15th, 2015, and welcome back to Veterans Voices, a monthly talk show focusing on veterans issues. I'm your host, Nathan Johnson, and I'm joined again by Melissa Margain. Our regular co-host, Kevin Graves, is away conducting annual training, AT they call it, with the California State Military Reserve. Kevin provides spiritual support and boosts morale for the troops as part of the Chaplains Corps, serving honorably as a staff sergeant. Kevin will be back with us next show for July.
Tonight's episode is titled, The Family Serves as Well, in recognition of the ways our families support us and fellow veterans. Our guests will offer their unique perspective. In the second half of our show, we'll update you on the vandalism at the All Wars Memorial in Danville and let you know how you can help catch those responsible.
We're broadcasting live tonight from the CCTV studio and live streaming this episode on our website. We'll be taking your calls, emails, and live chats anytime during the show. We want you to call in. Our phone number is 925-313-1170. You can call from anywhere, and our email appears below. We welcome you to ask questions anonymously through our live chat link located on the top left of our homepage. Tonight we have a special treat. If you call, email, or send us a chat, leave us a comment, ask a question, we're giving away free tickets to the next NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Sears Point Raceway on June 28th. All you have to do is participate in tonight's show, and we'll get you free tickets to this exciting event. We want to hear your voice this evening, whether you're a veteran or a family member. Those of us who have served miss the emotional roller coaster for those we leave behind. Many of you, though, actually find ways to serve as well. What does it mean to serve as a family member? We want to hear your stories tonight. This is your show. We want to understand what you're experiencing when you're gone. This show is about you, the family. The National Military Family Association has captured the essence of lives left behind in this thought-provoking video. Watch with us.
You know, your kids run up to you and they say, "Daddy, look at what I just found, look at what I just saw." And it's that moment.
We come back, reintegrate within the family. It can be challenging.
Trying to find your place in their routine.
Kirsten, my wife, she has her set way of doing things, and when I come back, I disrupt it.
Military kids feel that no one understands what they're going through. Their service member is gone, and they feel anxious all the time.
When I was growing up, he was always there, so it's different when my dad's not there for me.
When a military member serves, their entire family serves with them.
Most of the people around us didn't understand what we were experiencing.
When we first found out about him going to Greenland, I had to do what I needed to do at home, and he had to do what he needed to do there. In the end, you know that you're helping serve a bigger purpose.
There's so many organizations that provide support for the service member, but nobody's focusing on the family. One of the main programs that we have is Operation Purple. We take families to beautiful scenic locations, and we help them get reintegrated after time apart.
The setting of Jackson Hole is profound for anybody to come and experience.
This is one of the greatest ways to get reconnected because it takes you out. It puts you in a place that there's really no way for people to reach you, and it really just forces that family time.
Our mission is to give them a sense of comfort, knowing that they're a part of something bigger.
We've learned that we're not alone.
I'm lucky enough to have a really close relationship with all my kids.
They've always been behind me every step of the way.
Being military, commitment is everything. We're committed to our jobs. We're committed to our families. We're committed to everything we touch. We have to. We don't settle for less.
Welcome back to Veterans Voices. Together, we are stronger. We rely on our families more than they realize. Joining us now is Deborah Burrow, a family assistance specialist for the Army National Guard of California. Welcome to the program, Deborah.
Thanks, Melissa. Hi, Nathan. Good to see you.
Hi, Deb. Welcome to the show.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you on here tonight. tell us a little bit about yourself. We've brought you on as a representative of the California Army National Guard Family Program, but you're also a Blue Star mom yourself. Tell us a little bit about the service in your family.
Yes, I am, Nathan. Thank you for asking. I'm very blessed to have 3 boys, 2 who are now Air Force veterans and 1 that is an active duty Army Air Force Ranger at Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay.
I'm very, very proud of my boys, and that's where my journey began. So in 2005, when my oldest son joined the military, I didn't know what to do. It was fairly new to me, even though my husband had served 2 years in the Army during the Vietnam time. It was still so far removed from me, and I really needed the support of other people in this journey that I was walking. It was so new and so emotional, and actually, since my oldest son joined the Air Force, I thought it was a piece of cake and that it would be very simple. He'd see the world and it'd be very easy on me. Oh, go, it'll be fun. But quickly I found out the reality of the situation when he called right after AIT and said, I'm going to Iraq. And I said, oh, no, 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 you are not going to Iraq.
It's not the role of the Air
That's
Force,
right.
You're
That's
going to Travis
right.
Air Force Base. You're going to be 45 minutes away from me, so I can see you every weekend. But
that's
But
correct.
no, the military has its own life, and as you mentioned, being unfamiliar with it. In the Bay Area here, we don't have a lot of military presence, so anytime a family member joins the military, it's a new experience. So take us real quickly through the family's experience of having 3 sons in the military, and as a mom, how that's impacted your life. It led you to your role in the National Guard, isn't that correct?
That's correct. It was a very scary time for me. Nobody quite understood me, my emotions, and so I was very blessed to be driving down Willow Pass Road, and I ran right into the Veterans Building there, and the Blue Star moms were holding a care package drive. So I stopped to find out what they were all about and immediately joined, and they were the best organization you could ever be a part of to receive that emotional support. Other moms that understood the emotional roller coaster you were going through, and someone that you could call absolutely in the middle of the night to get support if you were afraid. And so it was just a wonderful group of ladies. I stayed with them for quite some time, and I thought, this is the best. Other people mean well, Nathan, but if they don't have someone who's serving in the military, they don't understand the sleepless nights. They don't understand that you cry at the drop of a hat driving down the street. You hear a song on the radio, and all of a sudden you're just bawling, and you have to pull over because you can't see to drive on the road. So it's a special feeling that not everyone can understand, and that's why it's so wonderful to find other military families that understand that emotional roller coaster and just hang with them.
Well, good. So we're actually going to have the Blue Star moms on the show later. We're going to have
Great.
Peggy Conklin and Carol Prell. And so you mentioned your son being a part of the Army Rangers. How long has he been a part of the Army Ranger unit there in Fort Benning?
Well, he joined when he was 18, right out of high school. Michael was always a challenge to me, and I felt that he was either going to prison or he was going to the Army, so thank God he went to the Army. Good choice. And he's just a wonderful young man. He's excelled at everything that he's done, and he just told me the other day that he's fulfilled his airborne commitment and his Ranger Regiment commitment, so that's kind of exciting to know that he's done what he started off to do, and I'm just very proud of him.
Great.
Yeah, well, the Army uniform is a much better uniform than a prison uniform.
There you go.
Isn't it?
So let me ask
Forgive me, Michael.
So how has it been? It's been a few years since he's joined. Would you say that the process has gotten easier because now you're more familiar with, you know, what happens? Or is it the same emotionally?
Good question, Melissa. What I didn't mention is I have 3 boys. So I have 2 Air Force veterans now and my Army Ranger. So with the 3 of them, I've experienced 6 deployments. They're all different, every single one. They go to different areas. Some are more dangerous than others, but when you put that uniform on that says you're serving for the United States Armed Forces, you're in danger wherever you go. So as a parent, you worry about them whether they're in Kuwait or whether they're in Afghanistan or Iraq, and my boys have been in all those places.
Well, I sense a lot of pride from you as a mother, and I bet a lot of what's to be known about the family members is that pride in their son or their daughter's service. They're very supportive, and it's a decision that the child makes. They have to enlist or join as an officer in the military on their own, but it sounds like you're very supportive of the decision, and I can just sense the proud mom sitting up here on the stage. And so we've brought you here tonight on the show also because of your role in the California Army National Guard. So you've had the firsthand experience of being a family member, but now in your role in the Family Readiness Program in the National Guard, you get to also experience what other family members are going through, whether it be a spouse or a parent or maybe a sibling or any other family member. So help us understand, help our audience understand, and that's what we really want our audience to do tonight is to kind of bridge the gap between those who are serving in the military and those who are not, and maybe there's a little bit of hesitancy to ask questions. We talked about that off stage a little bit earlier. So tell us about our military families here in the Bay Area. What are they going through when their service member joins the military? What's it like to be a family member of someone who just joined and went off to boot camp?
Well, it's scary, and that's what's so nice about the National Guard and their Family Assistance Program. We provide 7 essential services, and I think they can put that on the screen, those services. Right. The most important one is outreaching to our deployed families. Sure. So being National Guard, they're really civilians that all of a sudden become military members. So their families are totally unaware of what it's like to have a military member, to be a military family. And as far as I'm concerned, when your loved one, whether it's your brother or your husband or your spouse, son, daughter, whatever, when they serve, the family serve. So what's so wonderful about our program is that for the National Guard specifically, all of our soldiers that deploy, their family members are assigned a family assistance specialist. So we follow them through the entire deployment cycle, which is the pre, the during, and the after, to make sure that the families know all about the benefits that they are now entitled to as a military family member. And so my job, the funnest part of my job is what we call our monthly outreach. And I'll make a phone call to every single one of my families every month. Right now I'm supporting about 55 families, which is down from 130, so that's big. And I just check in with them every month, phone call, make sure they're okay, how are they doing, do they need any resources and any referrals. Just the fact that they know someone is there that they can talk to. And I always tell them that I know exactly what you're going through because I have 3 boys in the military and I have been through 6 deployments, so I know the emotional roller coaster.
But what are they going through? What you know what they're going through, but let's help our audience tonight understand what are these family members really going through?
It's the unknown, Nathan. It's the unknown of what their son or daughter or loved one's doing.
Really doing.
It's communications. Sometimes the communications are good. Sometimes they aren't. Communications are so much better now than they were in 2000 and in the early stages. But 2005,
we'll talk about that later.
6, I had to wait 3 weeks for a satellite call. You missed that, you were done.
Wow.
But communications are better, so we try to make sure that the families are in communication with their loved ones. If they're not, then we can find a way to help them to relieve the worry that, yes, your son or daughter's okay, but right now the unit's very busy. They're out on missions or whatever they're doing, but everything's fine, so, don't worry.
And that's crucial.
And we provide services and resources for them. And those services and resources are going to be different whether it's a spouse or a family member. But there's a lot of resources out there for the spouses and the children, the dependents of the soldiers. And so we make sure they know what all those are, and whatever they call, if they have a need, we find a resource for it.
Tell us about the children real quickly, because we've talked a lot about parents, and you're a parent, and we've talked about spouses, but for a child that's young, maybe under age 10 or even a teenager, what are they going through? when their service member joins the military or deploys overseas?
It's very hard for the children. Actually, I have a family right now that I'm following, and she called to tell me that her little daughter, 4 years old, is having a very difficult time.
Wow.
So we get resources. There's counseling for these children. There's a Sesame Street DVD that helps the kids try to understand what Daddy's going through. We suggest they try to Skype with Daddy, but we make sure that they get the counseling and the resources that they need.
Absolutely.
Well, Deb, you've shared a lot with us, and there's much more to share, but we'll have to save it for another night. Thank you for your son's service.
Thank you.
And for your husband's service, and yours, Deb. Thank you for serving our military as well. Thanks for joining us tonight, Deb. Joining forces is the theme of a White House campaign that highlights the roles and challenges of our family members. Let's watch a brief overview as well as a short video clip that reminds us to support and help for our family members is available, as well as for vets.
I've met so many of these military families. What you realize when you talk to them is that these families serve as well. Often we see men and women in uniform, and it's very clear to us the sacrifice they make, but we forget that when they go to war, so do their families, and they're enduring these long deployments, but they're doing it with such grace and courage.
Probably one of the biggest challenges is just being distant from your loved one. It's not easy.
The worry, constantly are concerned over your service member.
We live our life in increments, separated by deployments. So when we're deployed, our families pick up our slack where we left off. They care for our children, and then we come back home and we try to pick up a normal life. We're often forced to relocate and start over.
We know that the country cares, but we need to make the connection between those feelings and connect them to the family so that they feel that support.
Right. So it's not just a conversation, that it's a call to action to say, hey, support a military family. And I think that's what joining forces is all about.
Jill and I believe that with our platform, it's a unique platform, but it's one that can garner a lot of attention.
We were very honored to be invited to talk with Dr. Biden and Mrs. Obama's chief of staffs.
The door did creak open, and Mrs. Obama and Dr. Biden came in and surprised us, which was wonderful, and they were able to sit down with us, getting to know each of our stories personally.
Your families represent the best of this country. We say that all the time in all our speeches, because as we've met you and met your kids, met your extended families, you guys are, doing what every American should do. And if we could just spread a little of that to the rest of us, we'd be into something here.
Dr. Biden and Mrs. Obama have just done such an amazing job elevating the conversation. And it's very gratifying to be in the community and hear civilians talk about supporting military families when they didn't do that before.
Military families have so many stresses in their life. There are a number of different ways that the community can provide support to those families.
Offering to help with a move, offering to spend some time with the children.
You see someone in uniform, or you see someone with a Gold Star license plate, just say thank you.
Knowing that they're supporting you, and in turn they're supporting your husband or your service member.
Success to me would be that military families feel appreciated. And I think every American wants to help military families, they just don't know how to do it right now. So this is going to provide the platform that people can get involved. It's just an easy way to say thank you for your service.
I don't know what it's like.
I don't know what it's like.
I don't know what it's like to be in a war.
To be so far away from my family.
I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like.
I don't know what it's like
to be the one who stays home.
But I do know this.
No matter how patriotic you are,
or how loving you are, being in a military family,
it can be harder than anyone knows. If you're feeling at a loss, you're not alone.
There's help. If you need to talk to someone,
please call this number.
It's confidential and free.
Your family needs you. We need you.
Thank you for your service.
And we echo that as veterans. We thank our families for the way they've served, whether it be picking up the slack during our absence or making a bold statement in the community. Every step helps. We'll be highlighting these and other resources that can help at the end of our show. Speaking of giving back, we'd like to remind you that all it takes to win tickets to the upcoming NASCAR race at Sears Point is your participation in our show. So call, email, or send us a chat. Joining us now are Carol Prell and Peggy Conklin, who proudly wear the title of Blue Star Moms. Welcome, Carol and Peggy.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you,
Nathan.
Melissa and Nathan.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Absolutely.
Nice
So
to be here.
what does it mean to be a Blue Star mom?
Well, you can be a Blue Star mom without joining an organized chapter, but it means having a son or daughter in the military.
And what's the history of the Blue Star Mom organization? Is it something that's just recently started after Iraq and Afghanistan, or have Blue Star Moms been around for past wars and conflicts?
Yes, since World War II.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Blue
a
Star
lot of
Mom.
Blue Star Moms during that time, a lot of service members in the military during World War II. And where does the Blue Star idea come from? What?
From an Army captain in World War I who had 2 sons serving on the front lines, and he felt that there should be something that signified a loved one's service, that families could actually show with pride. And so he created the Blue Star service flag, which we hang in our windows.
Okay. Now, the Blue Star Moms is the organization usually local? Is it regional, or does it just kind of depend on where you are?
There are actually 206 chapters across the U.S.
Wow.
And depending on the demographics or how highly populated an area is, depends. Sometimes out in Montana, you know, there may only be 1 or 2, and the members unfortunately have to really travel. But we're fortunate here in the Bay Area, we have quite a few. Yeah.
Well, we want to remind everyone that tonight's topic is the Family Serves Also. And for our viewers, we have an opportunity for you to call and ask a question or make a comment, and you receive a free set of NASCAR tickets. This is a great opportunity because we've now invited the family members. We had Deb up here, and she's also a family member, but you both represent the community, and we are so fortunate to have Blue Star Moms in our community, not only as moms, but as an organization, because of all of the support that they provide to our military and to our veterans. So we get an opportunity to talk about that. I've been to a couple chapter meetings, and it's always new faces and new moms who are in charge of different chapters and such. So how do you interact with moms whose son or daughter just joined the military? How do you know, we know how the recruiter interacts with them and how they join, but where's the mom's recruiter for Blue Star Moms, and how do they find out about the good things that you guys have going on?
A lot of times they search online. They want to find somebody who understands what they're going through. And an online search, a lot of times word of mouth as well, and we try to keep our visibility high in the community so that there is that opportunity to hear about something we're doing, and that's how we usually get most of our new members.
And a lot of the Blue Star Moms are known for preparing the care packages for the troops who are overseas. And so what are some other things that you all do in your local chapters?
We have a group of really talented moms that make quilts, and they give them to the bassinet program at Travis. And then they also give them to veterans that maybe have been wounded or were Vietnam veterans that when they came home, they didn't receive a great welcome home. There's still a lot of pain. And it's a great way to show that they are supported by their community and loved, and it usually brings them to tears, so it's
great. Okay.
So we have a chat message here, and the video said to say thank you to the military families, so the person would like to say thank you. And one way for them to know you are a veteran family is with a California Veterans License Plate. So our chat here is actually giving us a great suggestion, and that as family members, you can purchase a honoring veterans license plate in the state of California, which I don't think too many people know that exists through the Department of Motor Vehicles. You can, as a veteran, purchase a veterans license plate, or as a family member, purchase an honoring veterans license plate.
I did not know that a family member could.
Yeah, and so I think along with the blue star that you might want to hang from your windows, you can honor your service member. And we really didn't even mention or allow you to take the opportunity to mention anything about your own family's service. Peggy, tell us a little bit about your family's service in the military.
I have 3 sons, 2 who are active duty and 1 who is now a veteran. Casey served 4 years active and 2 years reserves, and since then he's gone to college and become a civilian. My 2 older sons serve, 1 at Fort Benning, Georgia, 1 in MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida. And Chris has been in since '98 and Kurt since 2000, and then Casey went in 2004. They all served in the 75th Ranger Regiment together. In one of the deployments going to Iraq, I had Kurt coming out of Iraq and Casey going in, and they said they high-fived each other in the sky. Wow. Chris and Kurt served together one time in Afghanistan. Chris was very, very ill and was able to find the medic tent and who was there, but Kurt took care of them all night. Wow. And so they have a lot of experiences together as brothers serving, and we're just very proud of them.
So we have a caller, but Carol, real quickly, tell us a little bit about your family service.
My son, our oldest son, he is in the Army, and he's a medic, and he's at Fort Bragg, North Carolina right now.
Wow. So Fort Bragg.
Fort Benning.
Fort Benning, Fort Bragg. Well, thank you for your son's service. So we have a caller who has a question or a comment. Are you joining us tonight? I don't have a name. I guess we'll work on it. We have some technical difficulties. Okay, I don't hear anyone.
Hello.
Oh, hi, yes, thank you. Who's joining us? Hi, Valerie, welcome to the show. How can we help you?
Hi, I'm also a Blue Star mom, matter of fact. Oh, thank you. I'm also a Blue Star mom. Just wanted to mention that we also do the Operation Welcome Home.
Oh, tell us a little bit about Operation Welcome Home, Valerie. I guess we lost Valerie.
No, I'm here. You
oh,
guys
okay.
fade in and out.
Tell us a little bit about Operation Welcome Home.
Well, what they do is when they know that a veteran is coming home for either like a short stay or is out of the military, we get the flag brigade, and then they have the warrior watch riders that come pick them up from like the airport or restaurant or wherever they're going to be and take them to the home or to the party, and then it's a big surprise with the Blue Star moms there with all our flags and our pictures, and it's a real big deal, and the mayor comes out and city council, and it's a real nice event that they put on.
It's a fantastic event. I've been to a couple of them, and I can't commend the Blue Star Moms and the Diablo Valley Flag Brigade and all the veterans organizations and community members, elected officials for putting on such an important program. And Valerie, tell us a little bit about your service member or your family's service.
I have a daughter who's an Army specialist, and I have a son who's in the Marines in Hawaii, and he's going on a 1-year deployment.
So 2 stars. So we've got 3 and 2 and 1, and how fantastic that your daughter is serving, and your son are serving at the same time. And thank you for your service, Valerie. And what chapter are you a part of as a Blue Star mom?
Carol.
Chapter 20. Well, great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Valerie. And what a great way for the family members to show that the depth of what the Blue Star moms are capable of doing. They do care packages, but they also take the time out of their busy weekends to make sure that even if it's not their own son or their own daughter, to make sure that someone else's son or daughter is welcomed home on their leave or even when they're done and they're transitioning home out of the military. Have you both been to these Operation Welcome Home events? And if so, what do you get out of them? As a family member, what does participating in these type of events mean to you?
Well, for myself, it somehow makes you feel closer to your child. They're not there, but somehow by extension, it makes you feel connected, and it's so gratifying to see the community support. The neighborhood comes out, the elected officials, and it's just really gratifying and emotional. It can be very emotional.
I think it's wonderful to see the community come out and support these men and women who come home and have been away from their families for sometimes a year or longer, and and see them, welcome them home, and give them hugs and shake their hands.
So as a mom, when you're seeing other community getting involved, that gives you a little bit of comfort, gives you a little bit of, I guess, pride, and you don't feel like you're quite alone. Because we talked about this earlier, Peggy. You talked about how people are sometimes reluctant to even have a discussion about the military or what's happening in the military. So when you're surrounded by other people who are comfortable talking about and recognizing the military, that makes you feel a little bit more prideful or a little bit more comfortable?
I think so. I mean, no matter what, from the day your child is born, all you want to do is talk about them. And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so when ours go into the military, we want to talk about the same thing. And a lot of these moms that find Blue Star Moms and want to come be a part of an organization and support each other, they want to talk about their kids. And
great.
we want to hear about it.
Good.
And so,
well, speaking of hearing, we have another caller. So
Okay.
we're going to take our caller. And do we have you in the show? Welcome.
Thank you.
And who's joining us tonight?
This is Patty.
Hi, Patty. Welcome to the show. How can we help
Hi,
you?
Nathan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Did you have a question or a comment for us, Patty? Tell us a little
Yes,
bit about yourself.
You were asking Carol and Peggy what else the organizations do besides support each other on our active duty, and I just wanted to add our Gold Star connection that we have is very strong in our chapter.
Right.
And we put on a 2-day event in San Francisco, as you're aware.
Right.
And
I think that's an important point, that the Blue Star, the sons and daughters who are still serving, their parents are connecting with the parents of Gold Star families, which Kevin, our co-host, is a Gold Star father, and so we've learned that that means someone who has been killed or who has died on active duty. So the Blue Star moms take 3 days, I think a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or maybe it's 4 days, to go to San Francisco and honor these Gold Star families. I can't say enough about what the Blue Star families do for our currently serving military, and we have an email saying that the Blue Star moms collect items for those serving, and they want to know where that happens. So we'll leave with that. But I'm pointing out that the care packages and the welcome homes and the Gold Star events and just the community support for each other. So tell us real quickly, because we're done, but tell us where the next collection will be for care packages.
It'll be closer to Christmas. So about October, we'll start putting the word out, and when people are able to think about Christmas.
Good.
we have our next mailing on June 20th, so it's
coming up.
It's just coming up, but
So-
still, it's not too late for people to donate, and in many ways, donating monetarily is huge because the cost of postage is enormous, and
Right.
so that would be very helpful right now.
Well, Peggy and Carol, thank you for being on the show. I encourage our community to get involved with our Blue Star moms, who represent, and Peggy and Carol represent two of the many Blue Star Moms chapters, 101 and 20, in our area. And Veterans Voices spent time this month with Chapter 20 from Concord while they assembled hundreds of care packages for our deployed service members. Having been on the receiving end, I can tell you how much this means to those troops who are deployed. Please watch this video of our Blue Star moms in action.
And I think that's about it. You'll get the hang of it as we go along.
I'm the care package coordinator for the Contra Costa Blue Star Moms. I'm also a proud Marine mom. I didn't want to even join the Blue Star Moms. Well, two friends called and insisted that I join, and their parting words were, "Loretta, join anyway. You don't have to do anything, and Tony will get a care package." So here I am, the care package coordinator. We send out probably anywhere from 700 to 1,000 care packages per year. We do big shipments for the 4th of July, which we just did today. It truly is a labor of love because we've gotten some wonderful thank you notes back from our deployed troops on how much it meant to them to get a package from home that includes all the things from home that they've missed, and just knowing that somebody here is thinking about them and sending them lots of love. Blue Star Moms, we're lots of love in a care package.
You're watching Veterans Voices, our monthly show for veterans. I'm Melissa Margain, filling in for co-host Kevin Graves, and pleased to join County Veteran Service Officer Nathan Johnson. Before we introduce our next guest, we'd like to leverage the Thriving Veterans Network to focus on the discovery 1 week ago today of vandalism at the All Wars Memorial in Danville's Oak Hill Park. The All Wars Memorial is a memorial dedicated to all who served in American wars. Whether you've served or not, we need to send the message that this type of action will not be tolerated. A $6,500 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible. If you have any information at all that can help, please call Danville Police at 925-314-3703 or send an email to bslinger@danville.ca.gov. You may have seen this story on the news. Let's watch coverage from NBC Bay Area News.
It's disappointing and disheartening. This is sacred ground for so many families. What you're looking at is the work of vandals who defaced a war memorial in Danville. NBC Bay Area's Jody Hernandez is there at that memorial. Jody, the hope is a reward here will help them lead to a suspect.
That is the hope. I'll tell you, this town's All Wars Memorial, located just up the hill from where we're standing, means a great deal to folks in this community. They hold all kinds of events there. In fact, just last month, hundreds showed up for a very moving Memorial Day observance. So when vandals struck over the weekend, it left many people feeling under attack.
It demonstrated a lack of unbelievable disrespect. I heard about it Monday morning. I was like, you know, who could have done something like this?
That's what folks in Danville are asking tonight after vandals targeted one of the town's most cherished sites, the All Wars Memorial. This is what it looked like Monday morning.
They've damaged a memorial. This is a sacred place. This is a place that is due the highest respect.
Crews spent 2 days scrubbing off the graffiti, but the hurt the paint left behind is still fresh.
It makes me hurt inside. It's galling.
Marine Corps veteran Bruce Stam says it's pierced him at his very core. He's proud to have served his country and says the vandals are clueless.
Have no concept of what it means to serve, what it means for people to sacrifice their lives.
It's absolutely a priority. We've got our detectives on it. We've got our patrol people working the streets to see if they can come up with leads.
Danville police say because it's a memorial that's treasured and used by so many, they don't consider it a run-of-the-mill vandalism case. A $6,500 reward is being offered.
These are our veterans. You can't disgrace our veterans.
Again, a hefty reward is being offered in this case. Private citizens and the town of Danville have contributed money. A $6,500 reward is being offered. Again, the police department says this is a top priority. Reporting live in Danville, I'm Jody Hernandez, NBC Bay Area News.
Thank you to NBC Bay Area for use of the video, and also a special thank you to the Veterans Voices' own Bruce Stam, who was interviewed as a part of that story. The family serves as well. That's our topic for tonight, as we focus on how the family stays engaged while their service member is away. As a parent, I can't imagine what would go through my mind if my girls followed my path into the military service. But I'd like to introduce someone who has direct experience in the Johnson family. Welcome to my own mom, Deborah Johnson. Welcome, Mom, and thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Before we get going, we have a caller and we have an email, so we're going to take that. And then the opportunity to have you on tonight was a chance for me to interview you about your experience being my mom and being home while I joined the military and went away. So, as I mentioned, we have a caller. We have Mike on the phone from San Ramon, I believe. Mike, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mike. Welcome to Veterans
Yeah,
Voices.
thank you. I'm at home. I'm at home waiting for my Blue Star mom, Peggy, to come home and make me a Blue Star meal. But seriously.
This is Mike Conklin, everyone, who's been a former guest on our show and is a Blue Star father. And Mike, thank you for calling because you're giving us the perspective that we haven't heard yet tonight, which is the father's perspective.
Well, I think, first of all, I just wanted to say that historically, way back to the Revolutionary War, Civil War, when the Battle of Gettysburg, it was women who came to take care of the wounded from villages all the way around. And that's been, a historic fact. Without these women being there to kind of pick up the pieces when these guys come home, I don't know where we'd be. They're just amazing. The Blue Star moms just scratch the surface of all the things that they do in the community for each other, for veterans young and old. It's just incredible, and I'm sure your mom feels the same way. But, there's, I think, about 16% of the armed forces is female. And they are, they're a treasure, and their parents are a treasure. So,
well, I think you're right, Mike. I think a lot of the military goes through very rigorous tasks, physical fitness, but I think the family members are also put through some very difficult situations that builds a lot of strength, a lot of character, a lot of endurance that allows them to overcome some pretty challenging times. Can you give us a little bit of insight into what you've witnessed your own family enduring while your three sons have served in the military?
Yeah, I'd say the epicenter of that was when our son was wounded, and Peggy was a rock. And what I did find out, though, is that men and women handle those things differently. Right. She handled it her way, and I handled it my way. We were there for each other. Our family was there for us, and we were very lucky. But women do handle that kind of stress differently. Having a good family really helps, and a lot of these young guys don't have that. So,
well, Mike, we're glad that your family does, and thank you for joining us on the show tonight. We have another caller, so Mike will take the other call tonight. And who else is joining us in the show? And who else is there on the line joining us? Okay. Takes a second. So, Mom, welcome back to the show. We'll get back to another caller. And I want to mention that it's been a couple of years since I've been out of the military, but let's go back to when I joined. And tell me a little bit about what it was like when I came home with some recruiters and told you I was going to join the Marine Corps.
I was ready to sign the paper. No.
You were ready?
No. I just thought it was a great opportunity for you to move on to newer and better things to help you out throughout your life,
So you had confidence that I was making a decision that was not going to put anyone at risk? It was peacetime then. This was before 9/11. So it was maybe a little bit easier of a time to join
I think
the
every
military.
experience you do in life is a growing experience. It's like I always talk about life using a ladder as a rung. You're climbing up a different rung each point in your life. Yeah. So this is a new step.
Well, I appreciate that you had faith and trust in me to make that kind of decision when I was 17 years old.
Let me see, they left 4 more at home.
Yeah, you had others to worry about. Well, we do have another caller on the line, so who's joining us tonight?
Hello?
Hello. Yes, who's there?
Hi, this is Lourdes Taggart.
Hi, Lourdes. How can we help you?
I am Brian Vargas' mom.
Oh, Brian from our own show. Great. Welcome to the show. How great to have a family member of Brian. So tell us a little bit about your experience as a family member, having had Brian serve in the Marine Corps and serve in Iraq.
Yes, he did. Brian joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, and he went after the 9/11. That was his... I don't know if I should use the word inspiration, but that was his reason for joining. He has siblings, a lot of younger siblings that he wanted to protect, and felt that maybe we weren't in such a safe environment anymore.
What was it like for you, though, when he went to boot camp? Or let's just fast forward and say when he left for Iraq, being that it was a war, what was it like for you as a mother?
Well, it was pretty hard because knowing that we were at war, and I knew without a shadow of a doubt that he was going to war. And I said to him one day, I said, Brian, I said, you are going to war. I said, once you sign on that paper, you belong to Uncle Sam. There's nothing I can do. I can't, like call you out of school, you're sick or something, that's it. You're there. And he says, I know what I'm doing, Mom. I know what I'm doing. And his dad's a former Marine, so I lived that aspect of it too as a Marine's wife, and knowing, during Desert Storm when my husband was deployed, my ex-husband was deployed to during that time, then going through it as a mom, I believe it was much more difficult to see your firstborn, your first boy, to be in harm's way that way. But I was so extremely proud of him, as I continue to be to this day, and it just made me love him so much more just for what he was going to do, what he stood for, to put himself in harm's way for the people he loved at home, for people he doesn't even know. It's just amazing, the feeling he gave me, but at the same time, it was a scary time for me. I think that's when I stopped sleeping.
Oh, boy.
Besides the fact that I have a 9-year-old, so my little guy was just a baby when Brian was in Iraq, and between the two kids, I couldn't sleep. Between my two boys, I
Well,
never
that's
slept.
usually the thing, is that mothers and fathers have to also care for other children. Loris, thank you for joining us and for sharing a personal story about one of our own cast members, Brian Vargas, a Marine, Purple Heart recipient, and thank you. And so, Mom, we've heard a lot from other moms tonight, and I've sensed a little bit of difficulty in family members really being able to share about their own experiences. A lot of the description is about the service members, so I don't really want to talk about me tonight. I want to talk about you.
Well, I can relate to her.
You can relate to what she's saying
very much, yeah.
And tell a little bit about your own, though.
Well, when 9/11 happened, we just knew that you were going to be gone. So I can remember making that phone call, leaving you a message, and we're supporting you, and it was really tough.
So like Brian's mom, Loris, you knew that we were going to go to war.
So you just have to learn to find something within yourself to cope, because where we lived, we didn't really have any opportunity for a Blue Star group up there. So I had the support from the family and the community, and I'd go to the local pizza parlor and check out CNN News to see maybe, okay, I'm going to try to follow Nathan, see where he's going.
Find out where I'm at.
Yeah, so it kept that communication open, and letting you know that, I think our connection was, I told you to look at the Orion, that if we couldn't have that contact, we would look up in the stars and remember that we were thinking of each other. And
because we didn't have a chance to talk every day. There was a lot of times that I was unavailable, and this was during the invasion of Iraq in 2003, and mail wasn't even able to keep up. So you somehow tried to stay connected through CNN and what was on the news, but not really knowing where I was or what I was doing.
No.
Was that okay? Did you have a sense of safety or security, knowing that I was a part of an organization that had trained well and that was prepared for this? Or did you not really have any kind of understanding of how we had gone about getting ready for
I really didn't know what your training was about, because that, I didn't understand that part of it. But I think we had the support of the family that kept us going. We had other kids in the family too to think about. But we had a connection with the ship for a while, a little bit before contact was cut off. But yeah.
How much did my brothers and sisters know? How much did my older sister Jessica and my younger sister Sarah and Troy and Janelle? How much did they know about what was going on?
I think we were upfront with what's going on, what to expect, or what the outcome can be, and you can't keep things from them. You have to tell them the truth, and give each other the support that's needed.
So I heard from you almost every day. You sent letters, you sent emails. I didn't get them every day, but when I got kind of these pools of mail, I could see that you had stayed consistent. And so how easy or how hard was it to write? Because to me, receiving that mail meant a lot.
Probably most of the time I would probably write after everyone else went to bed, because that's the time that I could connect with my feelings and express them on a piece of paper. You know, otherwise you're so busy about your day, you can't really let them out. You know, when you're you still have to be strong.
Things to do.
Yeah, right. So.
But you settled down in the evening with a little bit of peace and quiet, and just wrote what you thought, and it really helped keep me going to hear from a little bit of home every day, and so I was able to write back from time to time. Let's talk a little bit about, because really when I was gone, it was real brief. It was 5 months. It was short, but then I came back, and fortunately I came back alive. And what was it like to know that I was home?
Well, it gave us a really good, secure feeling that you no longer had to go back there, you know, and serve the country. But we really appreciated your service and support for that cause, you know, and it was just good to have you home.
It was good to be home, and you guys threw a welcome home party for me.
We did.
And I won't forget it, because you made me sing the Marines hymn in front of everyone. And I think I only really knew about 2 of the 3 verses, so I was a little bit embarrassed of myself. But I remember now being home 12 years later, and I'm sure many of you have had family members who have welcomed you home, and a lot of that came from, you know, the generation of the Vietnam veteran, and when they came home, their family members weren't there for them, and so the way that your Vietnam generation has
I remember that, because my brother was
my uncle August came home, a Green Beret, and served during Vietnam, and when he came home, it was a different experience.
I was going to make darn sure that you were welcomed home, you know, because that experience of knowing relatives that had served in that time period, they remember that, being treated in a fair way, you know, and so now it's changed full circle to be treated and welcomed back.
Well, Mom, I love you, and thank you for being on the show, and thanks for letting me interview you, and thank you for your support when I was in the military and when I deployed, and for all the support that you've given me and my family after the military, which I think is very, very important as well. So.
Well, you're an important young man.
Thank you, Mom, and for your personal insights, and thank you for being a Blue Star mom as well. Let's turn our attention to an exciting event coming up on August 17th. We call it VetCon, and it's an opportunity for veterans to gather and network with employers, educational institutions, health, and benefits. And most importantly, you can connect with each other at VetCon. This is a convention for veterans. Beyond the important resources, VetCon creates an environment where veterans can share their stories of transition from military life to the career, hobby, or interests that drives their passion today. This year's Veterans Voices will be broadcasting live from VetCon. That's on August 17th. Veterans Voices will be broadcasting live from the VetCon event. Join us at the Concord Hilton and be a part of Veterans Voices in person. Take a look at what we have to offer at the last VetCon. Past and present military service members and their families have a unique opportunity on Monday, August 17th. VetCon 2015 will be a one-day resource fair focusing on connecting veterans with jobs, education, their VA benefits, and each other.
I would like to invite you to VetCon 2015. This will open the door for you in your transition from the military. You will have a chance to connect with fellow veterans who have developed skills, careers, and hobbies that may assist you in achieving success post-military service. Also, find out how other veterans have successfully adjusted to civilian life.
This free event, Monday, August 17th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. will serve as a one-stop shop for veterans, active duty military, and their families.
Blue Star moms will be on hand collecting items for care packages. Resource tables will showcase a wide variety of information and items that might interest you. The American Red Cross will also sponsor a blood drive.
This event is geared toward matching you with organizations and businesses that create an environment for personal and professional growth, ultimately setting you up for success.
VetCon, be there, August 17th at the Concord Hilton.
We'll see you there.
We hope to see you there. This is a busy time of year for veterans. Here are some other events going on in our area. This Thursday, June 18th, Stand Down on the Delta will have its monthly planning meeting at 7 p.m. This will be held at the American Legion Post 161, located at 401 West 6th Street in Antioch. For more information, call the number on your screen or go to deltaveteransgroup.org. A special tour and lunch will be offered aboard the Coast Guard cutter Wash on Thursday, June 25th. This will be a special tribute to Vietnam vets. The ship will be docked at Coast Guard Island. To RSVP, contact Ray at 510-378-3138. His email appears on the screen. Operation Red, White, and Brew is a wine and beer tasting fundraiser for America's troops. This event is sponsored by the Contra Costa Blue Star Moms, who you've met tonight, and will take place on Sunday, June 28th from 2 p.m. to 4:30 at the estate of Dick and Mary Lou Vanderkoss, 100 Solitude Peak in Martinez. For tickets, go to their website, ccbluestarmoms.org. On Saturday, July 18th, Operation Swing Time will be honoring our veterans and saluting our troops with the Twilight Concert and picnic at the Lafayette Reservoir. This looks like it'll be really fun. It will feature Mick Gillette, the Big Band of Rossmore, and the Swinging Blue Stars. Go to www.rotarylafayette.org for more information. Lastly, we would like to again remind you of VetCon on August 17th. We will be at the Hilton Hotel in Concord. Go to vetcon.org or call 415-413-8251 for more information.
You'll find information about all the resources discussed on our show tonight on our website. You can also get the same information by calling our Veteran Service Office at the number listed on the last screen. Let us know if you found us by watching Veterans Voices. We had Peggy and Carol on the show tonight, who are both Blue Star moms. For more information on Blue Star Mothers of America, or to find a local chapter near you, visit bluestarmothers.org. Deborah Burrow is a family assistance specialist from the Army National Guard. The National Guard Family Program has a website filled with helpful resources. Go to jointservicessupport.org/FP. Another great organization for families is the National Military Family Organization. They look out for the families who stand behind the uniform and for those who serve. For more information, go to militaryfamily.org. Tonight we talked about the graffiti at the All Wars Memorial in Danville. Disgusting. If you have any information that could help for Danville, call Danville PD or email Detective Sergeant Brian Slinger. And lastly, we would like to direct you to the Contra Costa Veteran Service Office, which is a great overall resource for veterans and their families in Contra Costa County. Go to our website or call 925-313-1481.
Don't miss our next show on Monday, July 20th, when we talk to members of an exclusive club no one wants to join as we highlight Gold Star families. Tune in on CCTV or watch the live stream on our website. Tell a friend where to find tonight's episode. We replay our shows Monday nights at 7 p.m., Wednesday nights at 11 p.m., and Saturdays at 9 a.m. You can watch all of our past episodes anytime on our website, contracostatv.org/Veteran Voices.
We want to thank our guests and our viewers. I want to thank Melissa for co-hosting again on our show. Thanks to the crew, hardworking crew here at CCTV. Thank you all the moms. Thank you all the callers. Thank you Sonoma Raceway for the NASCAR tickets. This is Veterans Voices of Contra Costa, wishing you all a good evening. Thank you for serving.